Your Bible says, then Moses spoke to the head of the tribe. Concerning the children of Israel, we're in Numbers 30, man. Numbers 30.
Yeah, we did.
She got a Bible? Renee's got, she's got.
You got a couple, Renee?
No, we just started. Chapter.
Numbers 30.
Numbers 30, chapter 1 in your Bible. Numbers 30.
Numbers.
Oh. Come on now, wake up.
Who else did you want?
Thank you.
Robert ain't got one. Look at him. He pretending like, oh, he
Day every day.
Okay. I know Steve ain't got one. Yeah, you said it there now with somebody else. They come in, they come in.
You know what?
Bam. Oh, look at him, trying to act like he got numbers. You know there's numbers 10.
I thought it was 29.
The Bible says, then Moses spoke to the head of the tribe concerning the children of Israel, saying, this is the thing which the Lord has commanded. If a man makes a vow to the Lord and swears an oath to bind himself by some agreement, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceeds out of his mouth. Read.
Or if a woman makes a vow to the Lord and binds herself by the same agreement while in her father's house in her youth, and her father hears her vow and the agreement by which she has bound herself, and her father holds his peace, then all her vows shall stand. And every agreement with which she has bound herself still stands. But if her father overrules her on the day that he hears, then none of her vows, nor her agreements by which she has bound herself shall stand, and the Lord will release her because her father overruled her.
6.
And if she had no and husband, which she vowed, or uttered out of her lips, wherein she bound her soul. And her husband heard it and held his peace at her end of the day to heard it. Then her vow shall stand, and her bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand.
8.
But if her husband overrules her on that day that he hears it, he shall make void her vow, which she took, and which she uttered with her lips, by which she bound herself, and the Lord will release her. Also, any vow of a widow or divorced woman by which she has bound herself shall stand against her.
10.
And if she bound in her husband's house, or bound her soul by a bond with the oath, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her, and disallowed her not, then all their vows shall stand, and every vow bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand.
12.
So that her husband had already made them vow on the day he heard them, then whatsoever proceeded out of her lips concerning her vows or concerning the bond of her soul shall not stand. Her husband had made them vow, and the Lord shall forgive her. Every vow and every binding oath to affect the soul her husband may establish, or her husband may make it vow void.
14.
So that her husband remains completely silent about her from day to day. He thus confirms all her vows or her obligations which she is under. He confirms them because he remains silent about them when he heard them. But if he should nullify them after he has heard them, he will bear her iniquity.
16.
These are the statutes that the Lord commanded Moses about a man and his wife, and about a father and his daughter while she is in her youth within her father's house.
So then guys, what we've got here is, pull your paper. I want you to go to paragraph number 5. Go kind of down, 1, 2, 3.
There was a number.
There was a number.
There was a number of different kinds of oaths and vows that people would take in the Old Testament. A promissory oath, usually involving self-denial, was a commitment to do something or give up something, normally for a particular period of time. The temporary Nazirite commitment was an example of this. Someone might commit himself not to cut his hair or drink alcoholic beverages or come in contact with dead bodies for a particular period of time.
Well, we got that in number 6. Just hold on, because you can do the other two. But if you got that in number 6, but just think about it. Who, if he cut his hair, what happened?
It was Samson.
You got it? Remember? So that was an oath. And Samson was not to do what? Cut his hair. And they couldn't, for the love of God, figure out why he was so strong. And then she finally realized, oh, cut his hair. And when he cut his hair, then they could blind him. Remember they blinded him? Right. And so that's one. Now let's go on to the New Testament. Who in the New Testament where an oath was given, the alcohol and certain things that he could not do. Strong drinks he could not drink. John the Baptist. Remember John the Baptist? Did John make the oath?
No.
Remember, John didn't make the oath. His parents made the oath. Did Samson make the oath? No, his parents made the oath of the vow. But did they have to keep it?
Yes.
Yes. See that? So it shows the importance of the parents. And when the parents gave out something, it stood. I don't know, then I go to Deuteronomy 5th chapter, Numbers 20 chapter. It says children are to obey their parents. For the days of their life will be long.
This is not about their father, so that days will be long upon the earth.
Yes, so stop and think about it. If they were, in this case, Samson could have lived longer, and you remember his ways were, he was a player. That's really what he was. He was a player, so he was going from skirt to skirt. And he finally met his maker. He finally met one that played it and stripped him of everything. And yet, all at the same time, someone would say, well, then that was God's will. Well, God's will is going to be done anyway. But God don't make you do things. See, that's what we got to understand. God don't make you do things. You do these things. Now, is it God's will? Yes. God can make that which is bad good. So even though what you did, Samson, was bad, God turned it into good because it killed who? The Philistines. Remember? It took them out. John, did you do any wrong? No. You were considered what though? A loose cannon. Because you run around with cowboy hair in a desert. You're eating what? Wild locusts. Why? When you just come on in and get a meal. But you, brother, stay out there in the desert. Why? Because this is how your upbringing was. I said, I remember a while back that there were some children that they ended up finding, and they had been chained from the, you remember that?
That's from the news.
Yeah, it was on the news. And
6 months ago, the parents are going through
and it was so bad that the children,
their minds.
their minds, you can't bring them into society now. They are animal-like now. They're actually animal-like.
They were in cages.
Yeah, they were in cages. They're actually
Is that the one that
animal-like.
had the 13 kids?
I believe it was.
And they're animal-like. So this is what you all are hearing. And that is, even if you want to present them, you can't. They have to go through some serious psychological work now. And I mean, we're talking about years. We ain't talking about a few months and then release them. They're actually like animals. In other words, they like now. They're used to crawling in a cage now. This is okay for them. See, so what are you saying? Let me try this. Orientals, remember when they used to put the wooden shoes on the young girl's foot and to keep them from growing?
Keep your feet small.
Yeah, kept their feet small, and you would think that's gotta hurt, but when you condition, and so what I'm showing here is when we get that change that we should, that condition of the mind, that's what you do when you make an oath. You need to now condition your mind to meet that oath, that you are that vow or that promise that you said that you were going to meet. You need to do it. So now what do? Now you work on it. I hear New Year's resolutions. I'm going to lose, this amount of weight. You look up and say, they must have lost it in their left toe or something. But you know what I'm saying. But you know what I'm saying. Why didn't you meet it? I hear people say, I'm going to give myself to the church. I love the church. I love the people that are there. Where are you? But you don't get it because you don't see this as being real. It's a vow. You don't see it as a vow. But you don't realize that God is holding you accountable to this vow that you just made. You have a tendency of looking at Calvin, I use you for an example, and I make a promise to you, and then something else comes up. And so I'm gone, and then I come back to you and say, brother, let me tell you what happened. No, it ain't. It's not. You don't have to explain what happened. This is what, you made the promise. God is going to deal with you. He will deal with you because you made that promise. I had a friend that's been working with us tax-wise, and he comes to me and he brings something else to my attention. And I said, I'm sorry, Chief, I didn't get your call. When I said, he says, you don't have to explain anything to me. This is got somebody I've been doing for years. He says, you didn't explain anything to me. He said, look, I already said I was going to do my part. Did you hear me? He said, because I already said I was going to do my part. He says, if I didn't catch you now, he said, I reached out again. I said, well, he said, you don't need to make excuses. Are we homeboys? Don't we go way back? I said, yeah. He said, didn't I tell you I'm going to take care of you? Didn't I tell you didn't I tell you immediately, you and your wife, what the problem was? I said, yeah. He says, so I'm not going to renege. He said, this is business. So I'm going to take care of business. He said, I got to get your business settled. Then we can go, then we won't talk about some Jesus some more, we can. But in the meantime, it's like I said, when do we reach the level of maturity and understand the pledge, the promise, the oath that we've made? You made another one, you don't realize it. Y'all know what that one is, don't you? When you went in that water river baptism, what did you say? I asked you a question.
Do you believe
that Jesus Christ
is the Son of God?
You said yes. You know what that statement leads to? Belief means what? To have faith, right?
Faith.
So watch this. Faith, it says, faith is an action word. So it means I must produce. Now that I've said I believe, the belief says, and I need to watch this, stay close because I'm saying I believe in Jesus Christ. But what am I really saying? What did you go get baptized for? Stop all this foolishness. What did you get baptized for? Hello. That's what you got baptized for. Because you wanted to be saved. Somebody told you about the flames, and you said, how do I work this? Because I don't want to go to hell. And then somebody talked to you a little bit more, told you you need to believe in Jesus Christ. And then somebody says you need to be baptized. You followed that part of the oak. You said, here's water, what happens? Let me get in here. I talked about that Sunday. I says, so now what do? That's your oak. Now your oak is, I need to understand what am I making a pledge to? Or to whom am I making a pledge to? That's where so we got Jephthah, who did what? Made a pledge and that he would win this war. And he says, and the first one that comes out, or anything that comes in my house, I will sacrifice it. and it was his daughter. He could not renege on it. He said, and she knew it. And so she said, give me just 2 months. Give me 2 months. And she said, then I'll come back and you got to meet it. You got to do what you need to do. Yes.
Since you right there was a burnt offering to the Lord?
Well, that's what I said. We don't know that. And that's the question. What type of offering was that? We don't know.
Okay, because I'm just...
You see what I'm saying? I said the same thing. What type of, because let me say this. God will not take a child sacrifice. That's pagan. To burn your child at the altar. That's a pagan worship. So then we don't know what that was, but we know this much, she had to meet it. Here we are, we told God, we want to be saved. He's telling you how to be saved. You say, no problem, I still want to be baptized because I want to be saved. Then God is saying, so then come get instructions so you will know how to be saved. Come get those instructions. And then I look at Tues and then I look at Wednesday's class. And I do a count on Sunday and then I do a count on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Don't realize those that aren't here, that's a vow that you broke. And a lot of times we don't get it because I made this statement. Nothing's happened to me. So I'm okay because nothing's happened to me. Yet. That's what we keep missing. Yet. God's vengeance, when he pours it, what God does is he stores it. Yes.
I was just going to say, or it could be you just so far into the routine, it's unchanged.
Okay.
Like, for example, I've been hitting and missing all my life.
Come on.
It's a routine.
Okay.
And yet and still, everywhere I go,
Come on.
the routine surface. And so I hit and miss. And not fully realizing, I'm thinking that I'm really making it on the days that I make it. And then when I'm not here, I'm not here. And not realizing the underlying issue is it's a lot bigger.
It's much bigger. And that's what I'm trying to get you all as we dive in. And I just want to get ready up to speed. But as we go into this is what's going on. We take vows, pledges for granted. God has told you do not forsake the assembly, Hebrews 10:24. He told you not to forsake the assembly. Jesus told you, hey, come learn of me. He told you, you need to come learn of me. Well, your Acts 8 chapter says, how can I without a teacher? So, you see what I'm saying? And Steve said, he talked to you, you missed a good one at the convalescent.
Oh, man, you came in and was talking about it.
Oh, yeah, you missed a good one. It's a lot of you all missed it, but Elva was there. It's a lot of them. It's never been explained like that, right, Elva? It's never been explained. And all I was getting hit with was, I really think you should take that on Sunday and give a lesson on a Sunday morning. I said, no. Why? I said, because if you wanted it, you should have been there. That's where I was at. You should have been there if you wanted it. I says, why? Because you don't know when God's Spirit, anytime God's man gets up and delivers a word, you should have an ear to listen. I ain't gonna give you surface. I don't give you a surface teaching no way. Because anybody can read. That's where I'm at. Anybody can read. But what's between them lines? What's under those? What's the meaning of why is he making these statements? That's what's important. And that's where I go in. I spoke to Calvin this morning, to about 12 something. Spoke to Calvin and told him, he didn't know. I said, I'd love to come chit-chat with you, but Tuesday is my study day. You know what I'm saying? So I can't chit-chat. Look, I wave at you. I got to roll. Why? Because I have lessons that I am working on, and they got to beat me up before they beat you up. So then they got to hit home with me and my life. Where are you? How are you living?
That was a point that I was going to say.
Go ahead.
Because I know Jesus, like I said, the old devil came and sowed them weeds.
Yes.
And
13th chapter.
Yeah. And I was just
That's deep. That's deep.
So the thing is, because we look just alike.
That's what he
That's
said.
why he said, don't
You can't touch it. That's right.
because you might pluck out one of the weeds.
One of the weeds.
Yeah,
That's
you
right.
know, you go the root.
Weeds.
Yeah, yeah.
You keep saying weed, it's weeds.
Whatever. No, I don't mean like that.
The wheat and the tare.
Yeah, the weeds, that's what I mean, yeah, the weeds and the tares. So I was just looking at that, and I said to myself,
13.
that, you know, it's not our responsibility to weed them out.
No, it's not.
Because you might just snatch out one of the others.
You may tell poor
But you know what, you gotta
something.
tell some, why aren't some of us here?
The parable of the weeds.
Weed and tare.
It says-
Like you said, Kevin, why are some of us here? I've always said, you know who's here?
All of them.
Yeah, it was all of them. But you know what? You know who's here?
Wheat.
God calls them a remnant.
Amen.
That's what God calls them. Calls them a remnant. I told you, I made that statement, 2 or 3 gathered in my name. I told you we have a tendency of thinking he's talking about 2 or 3. So 2 or 3 is over there, God is going to be in the midst. This is deeper than we understand. The world is getting worse.
Oh, yes.
When it getting worse, and why is it getting worse? Because we that believe aren't doing what we're supposed to be doing. That's why it's getting worse. We're bottling up what we should be delivering. We got the cards the other day. Cheryl was telling me we got the cards back. I says, where are they? It was outside in the bookshelf. So what the heck are they doing out there in the bookshelf? Nobody would never know. But would it matter? Because who's going to ask them anyway? So I grabbed my few and said, and then I put them down here. And I says, so what are you saying? You got a new website that's coming into existence. It is done professionally. It ain't done by no amateurs no more. So we've got something that's going to be it'll look better than what I'm hearing, it looks better than your larger churches. That's the new web. That's how good it looks. So what do we know about it? Where's the card to give to them? So somebody can pull the web up. We're so modern on the web that all we need to do is now add to it. If we want to add that PayPal or whatever it is, where you can pay online, we can even do that if we wanted to. I just said it's not personal. It's just doing just like every other church. It's almost like, I don't care if you don't come, just give me the money. To me, that looks horrible. But this is where we're headed. I was not joking when I said it's Sunday. I made it clear to Bella. I hope that you all took some notes on it. But I was not. I said, what a weak leadership. And see, we look at and say, well, we're small, so I guess we must have weak. No, you don't. Weak leadership is where they will fold or cave in to the people. That's weak leadership. And what happens with that weak leadership? It's going to look good for a minute because Capitol Hall looks good when it's going to hell. But that's what I'm talking about. When you don't get it, the leadership has got to be strong. You take a stand is what I'm saying. I don't care what they're doing, you take a stand. When you know it's biblically sound, it's biblically right, you don't change it. You don't need to be changed. God has never changed his worship. So how in the world are we changing it? You know what I'm saying, Calvary? How are we? Well, I think we should have music in it. So now you produce a stumbling block for someone who doesn't believe that we should have. You see how crazy that gets? And we're not the 15th chapter of Romans, and we're not to be a stumbling block for no one. Someone said, Brother, you don't have to wear a suit. Yes, I do, because I don't want to be a stumbling block for somebody. Maybe I'm not for you, but somebody's out there stumbling. When we reach that level of maturity, Paul talked about that in your 6th chapter of Hebrews, where you ought to be on meat, you're on. I'm still bottle feeding you. why can't you? We don't need to talk about the elementaries no more. We should be moving farther down the scriptures. As a matter of fact, the pew should be full. If we're reaching a level of maturity like we should, I don't know how to talk to people. That's your immaturity. Because you know the Holy Spirit guides you in all truth. So you don't have to worry about how I talk to people. If nothing else, you give them the card. Here's the card. Did you say anything about it? The card speaks for itself. If nothing else. But I give them the card, and I love to see you there. What's wrong with that? But you know what I mean? Maturity. What are you doing, and why are you going this route? I told you, every time I talk, it leads to something. Because what's going on here is, what are you doing, God? What are you doing to these Israelites? Aren't they going to go into the promised land? Aren't they crossing over into the promised land? If they're going to cross over the promised land, what should they know? The laws. Why? Because they don't know what God knows. God knows there's idolatry that you're going to walk into. That it's going to be a mess if you, and watch this, and when you walk into it, you're not doing anything. You basically going to put your feet up in the air and relax. It's a perfect time for Satan to creep in. That's why I want to make sure you understand the laws. So I'm giving you another law. Don't break your vow. Well, here's the bigger one. Who's giving the law? God. So then God is saying, it's not Moses, it's me that's giving this. So Moses may not see, but I do. So I'm saying, but I do see that vow or that pledge that you did make. So now we got this issue. We've already dealt with the idea of a man makes a vow, he's got to do what? He's got to keep it. No matter what, he's got to keep it. So whatever it is you make, you have to learn to keep it. Yes, I feel like going. You made it. You have to keep it. You made that vow to God. You told God, look, I'm not going to forsake your assembly. That man, Jephthah, could have easily said, but that's my daughter. I'm not going to do it. No. I'm sure he wanted to change his mind, Calvert. I'm sure he wanted to change his mind. But I have to do it. And this is what we miss. I made the statement Sunday evenings. I'm sure we're all a little drained, all a little tired. But when we remove us, and do it to support others, God smiles upon us.
Strength comes in number.
You got it. God smiles. God is proud. I've always said it's a horrible thing for someone, an outsider, to come in here and see all we got is this. Someone's like, why don't you just close the doors? Why even bother to come Sunday evening? Stop and think about it. Who are they saying it to? Members, believers, that are supposed to be supporting one another. That's supposed to be family. Stop and think about it. We eat, and then we leave. Go out to answer God. About to buy that. Go out to answer God. These are things that we said we're going to do. I didn't make the time other than this. I didn't make no other time limits for the church to start. So somebody set this time. And it's been approved by God. So then we do it. It's just that simple. We do it. And we learn from it. Watch this. We got that, so I want to go down now. Because I don't want to harp over. I just want to get Betty up to speed. I said, so then watch this. I've got there was a conditional law.
The person making the vow promised to dedicate a particular object at the temple or to offer particular sacrifices if the Lord answered his or her petition.
Ever talk to the Lord and ask him to do something?
If you do this, I promise you.
And that's something, what you say?
If you do this, I promise I'm going to do this.
And then he does it. And you say, See that? Conditional. You just threw out a conditional oath. He met his end. You didn't meet yours. So then watch this, the third category.
The third category covered dedications, which were the immediate and unconditional transfer of ownership of an object to the Lord, such as when the Israelites brought their tithes and offerings to the Lord's presence and dedicated them in His service. The second fact that makes vows and pledges important is this: vows and pledges must not be broken. A person must be conscientious. He must not break his word when he makes a promise to God. God has declared that a person can make a vow or pledge to Him. But once made, the promise must be kept, absolutely kept. Hypocrisy, a hypocritical approach to God, profanes and defiles God's holy name. It is far better not to make a vow than to break a vow.
And then Renee said something last week. What was
She
it?
did say that.
Remember, what did you say, Renee?
Say, I will, but they don't view it as a oath, because they didn't say,
Ernest,
promise I will.
Remember, I will. Yeah, I will help. You just made it. You don't even know it.
That's old.
What you say?
That's an old.
Sure is. You just made it. Your sister says, yes, I will bring this. Yes, I will do. That was your own. You didn't make it. You didn't meet it. Oh, wait a minute. Well, but you need to understand, something came up I had to do. No, I may understand it. God says, I will not accept it. It's not that He doesn't understand it. God said, I will not accept it. Because you said you will. So then your expectations are my expectations on the seed. Be careful when you make it. So now watch this. We can get out of that. That was your 2. Now we can get on down farther. Remember that woman, she's going to, remember, what is it, farther down. 3 says, a woman makes a vow to the Lord and binds herself by some agreement while in her father's house, in her youth, and her father hears her vow, and the agreement by which she has bound herself, and her father holds his peace, then all the vows shall be what? They shall stand. You can't get around them. They stand. Who could override them? The Father could override them. Why could the Father override them? I told you all why. Look in your back in your page 2. Page 2, 1, 2, 3.
Women were free to make oaths and vows just as men were. If they were widows or divorcees, their oaths were immediately binding, just as men's oaths were. There is nothing inherent in a woman as the weaker sex that required them necessarily to have their vows reviewed by a man.
So then watch this. I put that there because so often we say they're the weaker vessel. Well, they are the weaker vessel. But is he talking about the physical, the spiritual side of that woman now? No. He's talking about a promise. You made a promise, and you got to keep it. Ain't got nothing to do with you that man being stronger than you. It's you made a vow, and since you made it, then it needs to be kept. So wait a minute, what do you mean? It needs to be kept. The only time he talks about the weaker women is what? Based upon what? The knowledge of God. He calls them not just weaker women, he calls them something else. He calls them silly women. What do he calls them? He calls them silly. Why do you call them silly women? Because, first of all, you've been taken advantage of. But watch this. So that man ought to be ashamed of himself taking advantage. No, that's why you're a silly woman, because you allowed him to take advantage of you. He came into your house and he told you how many times you were so pretty. And his agenda was one agenda. But all you could hear was, I'm so pretty, I'm so pretty. And now you're in the bedroom with this man. But I'm so pretty, and he's still talking about how pretty you are. You're such a very beautiful woman. Now, he's gotten what he wants. And so what does he do? He has 2 options. Either I stay and keep coming back, or thinking, I'm out here. Now that woman being an emotional individual, it rips her heart. It rips it apart because she's made that way emotional. So it rips her apart, whereas that man walks right out. Well, he told you to stay away from him in the first place. But you wanted to entertain sin. No. If it ain't rape, then you wanted to entertain sin. And so now you got a situation. I said, I got a few of my uncles that are talking to God right now. Well, they ain't talking to him. They're sizzling. That's what I mean by this. You made a pledge. You made an oath. You made a vow. Whatever you want to do it. God gave you 3 outlets to get out of that marriage. If none of those outlets were there, then that was yours. That was yours to death do you part. You were never to walk away from that marriage. I don't care. Or he burned some grease on it. That's yours. You were supposed to get to know that individual. You were supposed to learn that individual before marriage. Before marriage. Not now we married and I see some things I don't like. I'll never forget it. Walt came to me. My cousin came to me one day and says, I really want to ask you a question. He said, because there's a friend of mine that says his woman, I can marry her. Then she changed. I said, no, she didn't. He said, yes, she did. I said, no, she didn't. He said, brother, you don't understand, so you don't know the facts. You want to, I said, I don't have to know the facts. I know she didn't change. He says, brother, well, you're not listening to me. I said, go ahead, and then I'm going to tell you why I said. He said, well, now, why don't you go ahead and just tell me? Now he's a little angry. Why don't you just go ahead and tell me? I said, because if he had dated her out of the bedroom, he'd have saw this is who she is. But he dated her in the bedroom. So he became blind. And then when he married her, he found out she's busy. He found out she's a player. He found out what she won't cook. He found out what she wants to wear. She ain't going to dress up for you. But if you hadn't dated her, see, there comes a time, when your first date, you put on your nice, beautiful outfit. You know what I'm talking about. And on your second date, you look just as cute. It's when them months kick in. Now, I can put on them old piece of jeans that I like. I've been fixing my hair and my makeup. Every time I see you, I don't have to do it this time. Now you see who I am. Why? Because I've become relaxed in the relationship. Now, your chance to see what she is, or he is, what do you do? See, the opportunity was there for you to say no. But we're in a society that says you got to try it before you buy it. You see what I'm saying? And it's acceptable. This is what I'm talking about. And it is acceptable. Shacking is no big thing. It's acceptable to do now. Folks making babies like it's water. And then all of a sudden now they got marital problems. Why you got marital problems? Because you just didn't start. You've been doing this for a while. And all of a sudden now responsibility kicks in because there's a child. And you don't want to do it. Well, if you dated him long enough, you found out he can't handle responsibility. You found out then he can't handle responsibilities. Put a little pressure on him and you saw he'd have folded. Put a little pressure on her and she'd have folded. She'd have walked on you. That's what you want to find out early. Because when you make that promise, death do us part, then God sees it that way. And it must remain that way till death do you part. So I tell folks, marriage is no joke. Well, I didn't know. Well, if you'd have stayed out of the bedroom, you would have known. Yeah. And you'd have found out early. And feelings are going to get hurt, but they wouldn't get hurt half as bad as they are now. I guess we can move on. So then watch this. He's made the statement. And I told you the father can make that move. I got your next paragraph. The reason simply that the vow made by a married woman and girls who are still at home could have a negative impact on their father and husband. It is certainly true that many vows would have had a financial impact on the family union, and that a wife's vow of absentees might negatively impact her husband. I've said it 4,000 times. There are certain things that are not allowed in a marriage, just unacceptable in a marriage. Man or female gets sick. It is for you to do what? To remain. Take care of that marriage. I made this with 4,000 counseling trips I've done. And the first thing I tell them is, there's no celibacy in a marriage. I don't know where we get that from. Ain't no celibacy in a marriage. And your body ain't yours. So quit trying to claim it as yours. And how do you claim it? Not tonight. That's claiming it as yours. And God will get you. Because why? If you didn't want to get married, you should have said, sorry, this is not for me. Because I believe that my body is mine. And yours is yours. Now you've made the statement. Hear me? Because when you walk into a marriage, it's laws. When you get ready to go into this land, it's laws. You hear me? It's laws. And you're not going to break them because you don't want them no more. It doesn't work that way. We see in the Old Testament, when they break vows, you know what happens. You take them out. He don't even waste his time. He takes them out. So, but it doesn't happen to us. See, that's what we do because nothing has happened. God says, now. Nothing has happened now. There's still a date that you have with me. I will remind you of that vow that you made that you wouldn't keep. I will remind you. So then watch this. Now we got the man and the woman, right? I mean the wife and the father, right? So then watch this. Now, who can break the vow? According to the Bible, it says in 5, the father, right? The father can overrule it, right? He can overrule it. Watch it, and this is what I wanted to hear you say. He can overrule the who?
The daughter.
Watch this. Now, can he overrule the wife? One more time. Because the wife is what?
She's one. With him.
To who?
The husband.
The husband. Gotta hear it, to the husband. She belongs to the husband. Watch this. The father, if she's single, then yes, then the father can come in and interfere. There's no way in the world, I've seen this too many times. Relations get torn up because you got an in-law, mother-in-law, father-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law that's interfering with the marriage. Have no business in that marriage. Hear me? No business. I've always made that statement. If it's someone and I'm the husband and it's interfering with my wife, then it's for me to go to whoever it is and shut it down. And the same way it is with the wife.
Okay, wait.
Go and shut it down. Yes.
You said that the husband, he cannot overrule his wife's vow.
No. I didn't say that.
What do you say, the wife?
I said the father cannot overrule the wife. The wife. Only the husband can overrule the wife. The father.
The way you said it was sounding like, the wife and the father are one, and the father can overrule the young daughter.
Yeah, he can.
Not the wife. But that's it. That's a husband and a wife. Because it says here that the husband can overrule the wife.
That's why I said it.
That's why I said, yes, the husband can overrule the wife.
No, Steve got it because I said it right. Am I right, Steve? I sure said it right. I sure said it. Yeah, I know I did. I said it right. That's why I said the
You
wife.
said the husband cannot overrule the wife. Didn't he say
No, I never said that.
Huh?
He
I said the father.
Oh, that's right, the father, I'm sorry, you did say the father.
I said the father. That's what I
He
said.
said the father.
Yeah, I said if she's married, that father cannot overrule.
Oh, I know that. It's the
Only,
husband.
and then that's when Steve said no, because it has to be the,
But y'all said it's because they are as one. and
That's it.
not it.
but they are as one.
But
Yes,
the
they are.
husband can overrule the wife.
Yes, but
But it's not because he said no, because they are as one. The husband and the wife are as one.
yes,
So you're saying that if I make a vow and Steve is my husband,
Yes.
he can't overrule.
no, I didn't say that. He can overrule that. Steve can overrule
Well, then
that.
Steve said no, he can't.
No, he didn't. No, that's not what he said
What
no
did you
to.
say, Steve?
That's not what
You
he said no to.
I said yes, the husband can.
I said, then can the father
You said
overrule the
no.
wife? Steve said no.
No, I heard the father overruled.
The wife, and that's what I said. No. Said no.
Well, I'm thinking the wife and the husband, the father, and the wife are the same. They the husband and wife.
No.
So you're saying the father, you're saying the wife of another man, not the father's daughter that's married.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
The father's daughter that's married.
No, he can't, the father can't say no.
Overrule her because she
Right.
has a husband.
Right.
He can only overrule the daughter that's single. in
That's
his
why,
home.
and you heard me say single. I
Right,
actually
so when you
said
said
single.
it didn't. See, you have
Okay, it just didn't click, that's all.
Yeah,
It's okay. Yeah, that's right. So it ain't no big thing, it just didn't click. But this is where it's at. Because I said, Jesus said, God said, what I put together?
Let no man put us under.
He says, and they are,
As one.
there is one. So then she wants to run to daddy. Daddy can't step in on your relationship.
But Claudia asked a very valid question, did you answer that? Because she said, then you said, can a husband overrule a wife?
Yes. I asked that.
What was the answer to that?
Yes. The
Yes.
answer was yes. And I said the answer was yes. Because Claudia, we use you all for example, Claudia makes a vow. Steve heard it. She said, no, man, no. Then it's void. I don't care what argument y'all get into. Hear me? But Steve says, no. So in the eyesight of God, there's no water. Now, I said that because I just said, if a man makes a vow, he what? So I just, isn't a husband a man?
Yeah, man.
So then he has to keep,
Most times.
then he has to keep the vow. He can't get around it. Watch this. I'm saying that, that's what I don't know if you caught that one, but that's what I was saying. No, because it can't be twisted. It can be.
It's a husband.
Yeah, it can be. It can tie tongue if you don't watch it. So, but that's why I said so. And listening to it, so Steve says, "No, we're going to do this." That's what I'm trying to say. So, no, Claudia. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. Claudia, he just made it. He just made it up. It may not even know. Watch this. May have just said it just so. That was silence. Go about my business. You know what I'm saying? But in reality,
But to say that I'm not gonna do this, to make a vow, I have to say we're gonna do this though, right?
yeah. Well, say what if you do no? Because if you
I'm shutting hers down.
yes,
Okay, so now,
there's nothing on the table.
ain't nothing on the table.
Right.
Did I make a vow?
Watch. Right. There's nothing on the table.
Okay.
But if you say, but what we will.
That's what
Remember
I'm
Renee said that will. Remember she said that will.
So what we don't
That's
do
your promise.
is there's not.
There it is. What you say? There you go. But what we're going to do, there you go.
That's it.
Now you just threw it out. Now that became a vow. Now God is saying, and I'm going to hold you to it.
But you made a point too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because you made it say, when other people come in, like mother-in-law, sister-in-law,
You
father,
got it.
or even if there's husband and wife living with their father.
I got you. Oh no, I got
You see
you.
what I'm saying? They living with their father. So
I got you.
husband and wife in the same house.
I heard
Now, he still can't.
you. You got it. But watch this. But what happens? She go to daddy.
Yeah.
When no, daddy says, watch this, that understands God's word. Baby, whatever He's saying, it stands. It stands. We can't interfere with that. It stands. That's why I said, so often do you see relationships fall apart behind in-laws.
That's right.
That's how you see it. Because
You married and
Because I married you. I didn't marry your in-laws.
That's right.
I married you. And watch this, and we became one, and this is our house. And it don't have room for nobody else. Watch this. Children, because I know people, you didn't marry, they got two different, hey, this is my set of children that I had, and this is your set. Children, no one interferes with the two. That's what he's talking about. No one interferes. It's between the two of you. You work that out. That's where he's at. So daddy, shut your mouth. You ain't got no business telling my wife. I'm just giving my daughter some advice. And you have a right to say, you need to shut your mouth. Don't you dare talk to me like that. Then I'll let God tell you the same thing I just said. Because God is telling you to shut your mouth. You watch this. That daughter is no longer your daughter. She is his wife. That's hard to understand. But that's what God is saying. And what? And the marriage was consummated. Consummated is not sex. That's another thing you keep hearing. Oh, we got to have sex. That consummates a marriage. That is not what consummates a marriage. You know what consummates a marriage? When you line your relationships up to God. That's when your marriage is consummated.
Not when you committed to one another. Is that lining up?
That's lining too. That's lining up. You're saying I won't, she's saying I won't. Now you're lining up. God is working with you. Why? Because when you met, it was behind, I don't care what folks say. You didn't meet somebody and say, what a beautiful man. It was lust. You saw what you saw. You were looking at bodies, is what you looked at. And you said, I got to have it. And so you went after that individual. And God wanted you to grow up. Why? Because you don't realize that you're going to walk into making pledges. You're going to make commitments. I want you and you only. And I want you and you only. You're making a commitment. We have a tendency of believing this when it comes to vows. We have a tendency of believing then what you're saying is this. You're saying then if this is the case on what we believe that to be, we think after we're married is when this takes place. Then you got to help me with Mary and Joseph. Because Mary was what? Betrothed. And watch this. And if Joseph had walked away, she's pregnant. Then what would happen to her? Say it louder, brother. She'd been stoned to death. Well, why is she going to get stoned to death? She wasn't married. You don't understand when God puts your marriage together. He put it together when you made that commitment. When you said, you're going to be mine, and he said, and I'm going to be yours. And we had ring first. It was strictly, we verbally said it. What God has put together, let no man put asunder. What are you saying? A vow. What are you talking about? On this vow. Listen, did you see God when you were making that vow? You hear what I'm saying? Did you see Him? No, you didn't. But watch this. Yet it was honored. God honored it. Somebody said, well, I didn't, she wasn't the right one, or he wasn't the right one. God said, I didn't choose him. You chose him. Remember, you did the choosing part. That's your free will. All I do is lock it in. And then what I wanted to do is line itself up with me. I said this, and this is really some meat you have to think of. There are some people that have been married and ain't married. Been married, but they ain't married. Marriage is instituted by who? Yeah. So that if it's instituted by God, then it needs to do what? Line itself up with God. So if it ain't never lined itself up with God, you ain't never been married. You ain't never been married. Not in the eyesight of God. You ain't never been married. That's a lot of meat. I gotta say, for me to have to explain it, but go ahead.
So, okay, with that court system, is that a vow too?
What?
How they make you put your hand on the Bible and recite what they say?
And from me to you, what are you supposed to do? That's a vow, but what are you supposed to do? God said what? Let your yeses be what?
Your yes.
Yes, your yeas be yea, and no's be no. No, I don't have to put my hand on a Bible. See, this is another one of the things Christians don't understand. You go to court, you don't have to put your hand on the Bible. All you have to say is, hey, you tell whoever it is, you say, my yes is yes, based upon my relationship with God. That stands. They won't bother you. That'll stand. Because me putting my hand on the Bible means nothing. Me speaking and saying what I've said concerning God means plenty. Now I'm saying I am going to do what's right. I am going to state whatever this is, even if it's offensive to me. I'm still going to, I got to tell you the truth. That's why I said these vows, I knew we weren't going to walk out of these things. But these pledges or these vows, they're pretty serious, guys. They're very serious. And you made one, I told you, when you went in that water river baptism. You made one. And God is going to hold you accountable. There are so many people that have left this world with thinking they're on their way to heaven, and they're on their way to hell. Yes?
Yeah, I was just going to piggyback on what Rico has said.
Yeah.
When you put your hand on the Bible. So we buy into the legal system, if you want to call it that. We buy into that and we hold that in high regard and disregard of God.
I knew you were.
And so when we stay in that line, we think we, doing right by me. We trying very hard.
They throw God in the mix, so you think you're going to be in trouble with God.
Right.
But
listen to what he's saying.
Yeah.
Look what became president is what he's saying.
Yeah. Well, like she said.
Watch this. God didn't become president. They told you scared because that will get in trouble. That's, yeah, go ahead.
Well, like I said, you still have to follow the laws of the land.
And you are following the laws of the land.
But you are. But the thing is, when you say that there's those who are not married, not to put nobody down, but
go ahead.
A homosexual marriage.
That's a good one.
I mean, that's not like God.
So, see, and I had to do that with, y'all remember Kiki? Kiki? Yeah, Kiki.
Yes.
And she was, oh no, when you're married. I said, so what are we going to do with homosexuals? They went in there and got married just like you did. She said, I said, and it's not honored by God. I said, certainly God is not going to honor something that he told you is an abomination. I said, so it's the same way with heterosexuals. What makes your marriage, what makes it work? God said, watch this. He's telling you in your Ephesians 5:26, he's telling you women are to what? Submit to their husband. He says, what, 27 or 28, he says what husbands, love your wife as God Christ loved the church. He's telling you, these are, watch this, these are oaths. That's what those are. Those are pledges that you're making. And so if I'm making these pledges, he says, then you need to stick to it. Now, wait a minute, I'm going to stick to it. Then, here comes your 1 Corinthians 7 that creeps in. Your body is no longer your body, it's his. His body is no longer his body, it's yours. Wait a minute. What's that? Look now, wait a minute. Now, look. So you're trying to tell me if he wants it, you better take it and accept it. I can't say it enough.
But you know what some people say? I just don't believe everything that God says.
And that's why I said, anytime you're struggling in your marriage, I guarantee it because somebody's not lining it up with Christ. It's not lining itself up. When it lines itself up with Christ, your marriage will be just like God would have it. Hold on. Blessed. Heard that word called blessed?
Yes.
You know what blessed means? Happy. Your marriage will be happy. So we missed that. What's causing this? I've said this in too many of my I'm going to tell you what's causing it. What's causing it is what your grandma and great-grandma told you for 400 years. Girl, don't do that. Keep your dress down. No, you don't do that. And no, you don't do that. And no. Then, when you get married, have plenty babies. Y'all didn't catch it. But see, you don't understand that, you can do that now. No, it's your improper training of that young lady that's caused a problem in their marriage. When what you should have told them, you will enjoy this, but you need to understand, baby, you have to do it when you're married. You don't never shut down what God has instituted. It's productivity. I've heard that, you heard that. But it's also pleasure. Married folks live longer than single folks. You do know that, right? But you know why? Because they're active. Watch this. I was showing my wife, I know I brought it up. But in the studies, what was it that what's the name had that for what do you call it for the man? Remember the Kelly had it?
Oh, the prostate?
Prostate cancer. Did you know when that male is active, prostate cancer is slim to none? What the heck? Isn't that amazing? What the heck? How was that so? Because that male is what? Active. The blood is going what? Moving. Isn't that something? And you say, I don't know what happened. This is what happened. It's almost like an insult. Yo, hey, young lady, look what you had some say-so in there, didn't you know? Oh, no. Well, that ain't medical. I got it out of medical research. This is what they came up with. I didn't come up with it. They came up with it. So it's interesting when we start to watch this. All I'm saying is when we line ourselves up with God and do what God has told us to do, look what will happen to you. Your lives will be a little bit longer and they will be more pleasant. They'll be much happier. That means I can't, if I'm single, I'm done. No. You can be happy too. Because God said in the 19th chapter of Matthew, not everybody, watch this, not everybody. He says some are eunuchs. And then there are some that are made eunuchs. So not everybody. I know what do you mean? Not everybody has a desire. Not everybody. We just ain't metal. But not everybody has that. Some actually can go through life and never touch another, the opposite sex, and live perfectly fine. Perfectly okay with it. I said, that's another thing. You heard me talk about that a while back. We make like single is a crime. Single is a good thing. Look what you can do. You ain't got nobody to tell you when to go home.
Amen.
When you want to serve God, that's a good thing.
Amen.
You can stay up as long as you want. Can't nobody tell you it's getting late. Don't you think you need to go to bed? You can stay up as long as you want and study God's word. Can't nobody tell you nothing. I think it's 12 o'clock. I think I'll go by, somebody called me. I think I'll go by you. But when you're married, you're right. Okay, I got your 12 o'clock going by to see somebody. See, the beauty of being single, Paul talks about it. He said if it was me, it's better not to be married. Yeah, so you give every ounce to the Lord. So it's got some good. But I look at a lot of the single people in this church and still won't line themselves up with God. It's serious, guys. And we need to understand these are oaths. When you line yourself up with God, you want a happy life? Then line yourself up with God. Just line it. Line it up with God. Somebody said, well, you know, exercise profits little. You did say, though, he didn't say you couldn't exercise. He just said put it where it belongs. He's first. The body is a body of motion. A lot of us, why you got to wait is because you don't realize that you stopped exercising. But you didn't stop eating. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? But you didn't stop eating. And watch this. You say, well, I don't eat that much. But you exercise none. You catch it? So what does it do? It sits there and settles. And then you can't walk, or your back is hurt, or this and that, and you don't understand. And as you're getting older, the body is designed to deteriorate. It's not going to get better. You have to exercise. It's not going to get better. So as the body is deteriorating, then I need to do something. I don't know. You even say, I think what I'm going to do is go to the 24-hour fitness. You even said, I think what I'm going to do is exercise. And do it. I tell folks all the time, this is what you want to do. Don't throw everything out and keep doing it. If you made one step and you didn't make that step, you just exercise. You haven't been doing it, you just exercise. And stop. Why? Because I told you, this vow is behind the conditioning of the mind. That mind has to be conditioned. It's not used to working out no more. Watch this. That mind has to be conditioned. It never lined itself up with God. So line itself back up with God. I know this much for a fact. Every last one of us in this room, we want to go down.
Amen. Amen.
I know that. Amen. But God is the one that determines who goes. That's right. And so he's saying, as a promise, I guarantee every last one of you, you can enter into the kingdom of heaven conditionally. It's all conditional. What do you mean? If you do my command. It's all conditional. When we don't do it, when we don't take this serious, when we don't take worship serious, when we don't take Bible studies serious, that's the only time you can learn. You say, well, I go Sunday morning, I get a lot out of it. But you can't stop me and ask me a question. Here you can. Everyone says, I ain't going to get mad at none of you. Why? Because I can get your stuff and get that easy. Took me a minute or two for it to finish. So this is a good thing. Can't say it enough, guys. Vows, pledges, promises. When you make them, you better stick to them. You better do what you're supposed to do. Jill made a vow. I will be down at the church early Sunday. I came down here around 7:30 and the lights was on and the doors was open. I'm for real, that was that day he did it. I couldn't believe it. I said, wow, he's actually in there. Because I usually get here a little 7:30, 7:40, 45 is late. But I usually get here around that time. I said, then go in and put the donuts in your room and then take the bulletins out and open the doors and turn the sprinkler systems on. And I said, and then fix up whatever needs to be fixed in that room. I said, then I come on back in here and get ready to get started. What do you think? You complain? Absolutely not. Because I love me some Jesus. I mean, because I love me some Jesus. And I'm going to be here. If ain't nobody else here, we'll be here. Think about it, guys. Pledges. When you make them, stick to them. Are there any statements I need to